Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Last week we made a Trojan horse in Valheim. Trojan zebra in Valheim. And if you'd like to raid Troy with me, hold on. Give me 1 second. That's better. You ready to go raid Troy? Climb into the zebra and let's go. So let's get started. The first thing I always start with, especially when we're thinking about a horse or a zebra, are the feet. And we're going to need to support the whole body, so I always start with the bottom. Surprise, surprise. In here, I kind of wanted the hooves to look fuzzy or dirty. So I wanted to use roof pieces for the hooves. So I was going to fill in iron bars later, but right now I'm just going to do wood. It'll help me visualize what's going on, and actually as I went along I redid the legs 3 different times. These legs are 2 by 2. Later on I changed it to 1.5 by 1.5, and I think they even got skinnier from there. Not to mention, horses' legs aren't square, they're round, and they're skinny. I'm not sure how many of you do this, but a common practice of me when I build stuff is to always build ladders. And I hate these ladders because I keep like kicking my shin on it and falling over and falling off and taking damage. So half the time I just build stuff from the ground. Then I need the ladders, of course. I feel like shin breakers is the nickname for them. So right now I'm thinking about the inside body of the horse. I kind of want it to be smooth transition from the legs to the body, so we need a little bit of angles, but so I did like a half snap in here so that we could start off with a steep angle, then turn to a different angle. This back here is the body of the horse, and the front end, of course. This took me a little longer than I thought, because I kept having to think about how it was going to be. Rather than like a house, you just kind of build up and then chop some stuff down. I was trying to make it slightly organic. And these are the support poles. So the iron poles that go all the way through, that'll support the main weight of the body. As you can see, I couldn't go any further with the wood that was there, so I needed the support. Once we get to the back end, I had a little bit more support, and then I decided where the legs were going to go. I figured I could put some walls up the sides and help make the rest of the body look a little bit bigger. Every time I added a piece like this, it kind of helps me look about how big the creature is going to be, how large the structure can be, and then kind of how it's going to fit together. Even though we only do little bits, that kind of gave me an idea of how big the body was going to be. Which means that I skipped around in builds just a little bit when it came to this. Normally when you're building a house, you go from the bottom up. And even though when I went from the bottom up with the legs of the horse or the zebra, I kind of skipped around. I did like walls here, one leg here, one wall over here, the body over here. It was the only way I could visualize the structure, but it was a little haphazard. Not exactly methodical, but it worked out in the end. Speaking of butts, we're kind of getting there on the zebra. And it has a pretty big one. But it worked out really well. I was jumping for joy. Oh, look, zebras everywhere. Zebra butts. All right, now we fill in the body of the zebra a little bit more. Again, well, this looks like a giant heart. But this helped me visualize the rest of the structure. I was going to do legs after this, the bottom legs, and the head's going to be the most challenging part. just to make it look like a horse. So these are the back legs, right underneath the butt. And I think these are the ones I redid 3 different times. First, I did a straight structure all the way down, and then if you think about it, a horse's back legs aren't straight. They have kind of like, I don't know if it's a 45-degree angle, but they have an ankle and they have a pretty large angled hoof. In the beginning, I just wanted the structure to stand. After a while, I wanted it to look more like a hoof. Or a horse's leg. I'm actually showing you the way we did this because someone in chat suggested that I change it from a square leg to a round leg, and I liked the way it looked. So I'm just showing you the first iteration that actually worked out well, and then I'll show you how I changed it later on. Because it changed so dramatically. Yeah, look at that, it looked great. So now a horse doesn't have a flat belly, so I want to do a little bit of a curved belly underneath to, again, accentuate the body a little bit. And I can hide more Trojans in there. All the little patchwork holes that you still see will be filled in later. I'm not going to leave anything to chance, and I'm not going to leave it messed up, but I want it to be visual. I want to be able to see what I'm doing enough, so I kind of left a lot of those holes there as I was building it. So I think this is where I decided I wanted to build the whole back end of the zebra and flesh out the rest of the body so that I could see what it was going to be like, what else I wanted to change. And as soon as I did that, it actually kind of started to break the back end. So I had to add more support and just stick it to the back end, just using iron poles, just so that it has nowhere to go. That gave it enough support so I could add a roof to the top of it and enclose the whole thing. It does still remind me of a giant zebra heart. But, heart. But. So if I was going to redesign the back legs, I needed to support them completely so that I could just redesign the outside like a shell and just leave these supported posts. So this is going to support the whole back end of the zebra, and then I can just take down the walls and redesign them completely, which I did. In an organic shape for me like this, there's going to be a lot of trial and error. Even in non-organic shapes, there's a lot of trial and error. But this one was a lot for me. Going back and forth. As you can see my face, I look super happy about going back and forth 6 times to try and make the back end work right. But it was worth it in the end. I'm an extremely persistent person. I used to be a jeweler. So design and repetition is right in my wheelhouse. Once it's at least satisfactory on the outside shell, I started to fill it in and square it off, I guess. I didn't mind if it had kind of square areas, just as long as it looked like the right horse shape. Not to mention we fill more in, add a little bit more detail. It really does give it a lot more character. Back to the top of the zebra butt, I really wanted to leave a little opening so that I could get in and out. So that little thing that's up there on that kind of looks like a arrowhead shape. I'm going to always leave that so I can get in and out. Since I do all these live on Twitch, to tell you the truth, filling in the inside like this was really just a stall while I thought about how to do the head. The head is going to be the hardest part of the zebra, and every time I thought about doing it, I didn't have a starting point. I didn't know how it was going to curve, I didn't know how it was going to end up, I didn't know how wide or skinny I wanted the face, not to mention the eyes, which all turned out great, but there again was a lot of trial and error. That persistence is key for me. So this is going to be the support for the face, or the head. And obviously you need to go right up through the middle, off of the front two legs, in order to be tall enough to support the whole head. But we don't need too many, we just need one pole all the way through the face. And then you need to cover it, so it doesn't look like the hole in the middle of your horse's face. See how much support we get from that pole? It goes from an immediate red to an immediate green. And now I know we can support the whole horse's face, horse's head off of that. Some of it I built from the inside, but as you can see, I was just trying to curve the nose around. Find a spot for the eyes. Some of the spots are just so I can stand. Most of the spots are just so I can stand. There we go. Curving around the mouth a little bit, leaving it connected to the other iron poles. Just trying to figure out what it's going to look like as I'm doing it. I think that's the best way to do things sometimes. Yeah, that looks great. Nice round neck. Alright, now it's time to fill in the outside. It's all about patchwork now. We have the whole structure supported and kind of flashed out enough so that I can see what's going on, and that's like the 100th time that I've died. So at least you guys get to see that. But no, now it's all about filling in little bits and pieces, making sure that there's no holes, making sure that we have a really nice entrance in the back. Also putting the zebra mane on the top, because it's a zebra, of course, keep that in mind. It's super special. Gotta get a little turn, make the mohawk a little bit nicer. Yeah. Not to mention with the flaming eyes, makes it look neat. Alright, so this next part, I don't want you guys to tell anybody, because it's a secret. So this is the secret entrance door to the back. You can see it, but don't talk about it. It's like Fight Club. Okay? So that's the way in. Jump up through that back leg. Keep it a secret. And last but not least, since we have such a nice zebra butt, we really need a nice zebra tail. And some of the pieces don't really lend themselves to a tail, so I figured this was the best way to do it. It almost looks braided, in a way. Either way, it looks nice. The only thing that's left to do is show off the final product. thank you all for watching the video on my Trojan Zebra. I hope it inspires you to build bigger and better things, and please like and subscribe for more content. Thank you for being here, and have a wonderful day. Bye. Ow. No. Oh, that's a good raspberry. I'm gonna have another one. Won't let me. Frick.